What's up, guys? We're back. And we're going to go through our top 25 NBA players now. We're just kind of run through it. It's not going to be a whole lot of debating or anything. We're just going to kind of give you an idea of what we think. And we don't know each other's lists, so we're going to kind of learn a little bit about each other, I think.
Yeah, we're about to find out.
I'm going to start with a handful of honorable mentions. On my list, some guys that it was really hard to leave off, but I did anyway, so it must not have been that hard. My honorable mentions, in no particular order: Kevin Love, Draymond Green, Devin Booker, Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond. He's kind of an outlier, but I added him with Blake Griffin. Al Horford and C.J. McCollum. Those are, what is that, 3, 4, 5, 6? That's 7 players that we're like, man, they're probably top 30, but they're not quite top 25. They're right in that little in-between area. So those are my honorable mentions. I don't know about you. Do you have any honorable mentions?
Well, for my list, my top 25, like the honorable mentions that didn't get into my list, I would say Carmelo Anthony. Yes, he's no longer a top 25 player. He's top 30, but not top 25. I would say Andre Drummond. He just deserves to be there. Kemba Walker. The year that he had in Charlotte still need to be, no.
He could definitely be in my honorable mentions.
Still need to be pointed out.
It's hard, really, to look at a list of NBA players. Because, I mean, there's a lot of NBA players, man.
It's like the margin of error is
it's really much. You can look at your
preference and how you look at it.
I could look at my 41st player and my 26th player, and it's like, oh, man, they could have been either one. So, anyway.
But, yeah, pretty much your list. Yeah, including like C.J. McCollum, and I'll even say as far as Ben Simmons, like already in this first year, I mean,
you got Ben Simmons as an honorable mention.
I mean, it's hard to deny. I mean, he had Magic Johnson type numbers, and the impact he's had for Philadelphia, it need to be recognized. Like I say, yeah, he definitely need to be, deserved for, potentially, in the near future being a top 25 player.
I got you. I actually slightly disagree. I'm actually making an edit to this list after I looked at it. I said, I don't like that. Those two were out of order. Okay. I'm going to go 21 through 25 now. You said Ben Simmons is not a top 25 player.
Well, in my mind, I'm talking about as in like now and also projecting for the future.
I got you. I got you. That's why these lists are pretty subjective anyway. I mean, you could literally go with 30 different combinations. I think we'll really get into it at the top 10. We'll see because if you know basketball, I think the top 8 is not debatable. I think if you have a different top 8 than me, then you don't watch basketball. Then from there, it's, a little different, but we'll get to that. 21, I have Ben Simmons. I got him, and really by 21 through 25, they're all right there together. I didn't really put a lot of thought into which player on which spot. I've kind of got this broken into tiers, and this is my tier 5, and it's elite role players right now best suited as a second or third option. Think of like a Kevin Love type player. He was the first one to miss this list. I got Ben Simmons, Nikola Jokic, Rudy Gobert, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Victor Oladipo in my 21 to 25 range. And really, I mean, Oladipo, I could probably put him as high as 21. But I just kind of grouped these guys together. It wasn't like I'm going to put this one here and he goes here. No, he's going to move here. It just, top of my head, real quick, I was typing this up and I said, these 5 are my 21 through 25.
All right.
So
now, in my list, I'll have to say 21, I'll say Blake Griffin.
See, Blake Griffin just missed my 25. I'm fine with him being top 25.
Griffin, even though, you might not heard from him as much because of Detroit, after that trade from LA to
He's
Detroit.
He's doing better in Detroit.
I mean,
right now.
Blake Griffin is still deserved to be one of the better players in the league.
Definitely.
I'll say that. Number 22. It may be controversial. I am projecting as in for the future and now, but I am saying Gordon Hayward, I still believe is a top 25 player in the league.
Oh, definitely.
The impact that he would have had in Boston this year would have been deemed enough. I actually swapped him out as a late ad. I swapped him out for Ben Simmons because
now I'm upset.
You still can't ignore.
You made me upset with myself.
Gordon Hayward.
Because I put Kyrie, or not Kyrie, I put Kawhi in my list, and I didn't put Gordon Hayward. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I would definitely put, if I had to take Ben Simmons out to put Gordon Hayward, I would, because Gordon Hayward is a top 25 player. Right. I apologize to all the viewers that I've led astray, especially by doubting my own guy that I've already gassed up on this show. Yeah, Gordon Hayward's top 25. That's not a... Yeah, he is. He definitely is.
And then to go through the rest of my little group right here. 23, Kevin Love, for the role he has in Cleveland. You know, he is the clear.
It was very hard for me to leave him off the top 25, but I put him at 26.
He's automatic 20 and 10 every night. Easy. Oh yeah. 24, Kyle Lowry.
Okay.
As a point guard, he is still considered an all-star and should be worth one of the better players in the league. And in my list, he should be a top 25 player.
I've got him and Kimba. They're both in that honorable mention range for me. But I respect that, definitely.
And 25, I'm curious to see how y'all react to this. But Kristaps Porzingis deserves to be in the top 25 because, I mean... Yeah, the reason why he's called the unicorn, folks. I mean, you know, he's 7'3" with a jump shot, and he can move, and he can post up, and he can play defense. I mean, the Knicks would have made a little bit more noise if he would have stayed healthy. And I mean, he needs help. But Porzingis, he's, you know, early in the season, the Knicks was looking good, and then whenever he got hurt, they just went downhill. So you see the value that he has.
Interesting segue into my 16 through 20. Number 20, Kristaps Porzingis. I've got him. That's another little bit. That's again like it's hard to put one player over another. He's not necessarily my number 20 if I sit down and dissect everything. But I've got him. He was really kind of in that same tier, I think. I'm putting him in my tier 5. The right now elite role player, best suited as a second option, whatever. But he's a future superstar. He's the closest thing we've seen to like a Dirk type player. He's the second coming of Dirk, the same way Ben Simmons.
But a taller version,
man. I'm putting him 20 is a little high for right now, but if he plays this full season, I think he makes it. You know, he fulfills that potential a little bit. I'll go back down to. I'll start at 16. John Wall, who last year was borderline top 10, I'm dropping him quite a bit this year, mainly because of injuries, which that's what makes these lists really hard to do. But I've got John Wall right outside of my top 15. I've got him at 16. With this tier 4, I said great, but maybe better as a second option on an elite team. John Wall as your best player is a really good team. If John Wall is your second best player, then you're a really good team. So that's kind of so John Wall, DeMar DeRozan. That might be a little disrespectful to him, putting him 17, leading Toronto as good as they are. But you put him on a team with Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook, and that duo doesn't work. But you know what I'm saying. You put him with Giannis, then
other star complementary.
Yeah, you put him with somebody.
You know, he's part of a big three.
Yeah, he's definitely like Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade back in the day was a top 10 player easily in the league, but you put him with LeBron.
LeBron is here. Dwayne Wade is here.
Yeah,
like,
so I mean,
he's up there. Like he's up there.
You put DeMar DeRozan. You put DeMar DeRozan with another superstar, and if he's the second best player on your team, then wow, you have a good team. Chris Paul. Put him with James Harden, and guess what? You got the best team in the NBA right now. Next is Klay Thompson, which when he was the second option for Golden State, they won 73 games. And then, rounded out was Porzingis. So John Wall, DeMar DeRozan, Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, Kristaps Porzingis is just outside of my top 15. That's my tier 4.
Right. So I'll say for my section for 16 through 20, I'm gonna start by going 20 and then work my way up. Number 20, Joel Embiid.
I like it.
Embiid is a beast. 7'2" with a jump shot.
22 and 11.
I mean,
22 and 12.
And presence by protecting at the rim. I mean, Embiid has been a tremendous difference on the court and in the locker room for Philadelphia.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, huge. I mean, just wait till he comes back with the face mask in the playoffs. Like, he's gonna show like how big of a value he is.
Masked Kyrie, masked LeBron, better than the regular.
Masked Embiid. Watch out,
he's gonna average 30 and 20.
He's gonna go off in the playoffs.
If he averages 30 and 20 in the first round, you heard it here first. Under review.
Hey, there's a reason why Philadelphia is gonna make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, folks. There's a reason why. But as I continue on, number 19, Draymond Green. He is the most underrated player for the Golden State Warriors.
You take him off Golden State, they're not. I mean, they're great, but he's the heart of that team. You take him off there, they lose their identity.
Mm-hmm. Like the mental psyche. Like he's bringing that toughness.
If you're talking MVPs for that team, Steph, Draymond are the two MVPs of the team, not best players. Because KD is a better. We'll get to that.
Right.
Draymond is the second MVP for
just to sum it up. 2016 Finals. There's a reason why Golden State didn't win. And it's not just because of LeBron and Kyrie.
It's because LeBron. I'm just.
Let it alone. We already gonna start.
It's late
fire
now.
folks up already.
It's late now. It's like 1 a.m.
Yeah, but number 18, Draymond's teammate Klay Thompson.
I've got him at 19, so that's the closest.
One of the most underrated shooting guards in the league. We're talking about someone who scored 37 in a quarter.
60.
We're talking about someone who scored 60 in 3 quarters without barely taking a dribble.
I think they said he had like 9 dribbles and 60 points or something.
And he sat out the whole 4th quarter. Yeah. Klay Thompson was on fire to the point he easily could have scored 80 if Coach Kerr would have kept him in.
He could have had a Kobe game.
Easy. He would have broke Kobe's record for the most points in the modern era.
If he wanted to, he could have.
But if Kerr would allow it.
I mean, but yeah, what's the point? Like,
the Warriors, the Warriors are the Warriors.
Yeah.
But
Warriors going Warriors.
Yeah, but number 17, Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns definitely is worth being considered as in one of the top 20 players in the league, because for him to be able to score in the paint, being one of the best post players in the league, and then his 3-point shot is legit. And then
he went 6 for 6 in one game.
Yeah,
scored 50 points, 56
points on the Atlanta Hawks. A night after playing Ben Simmons online,
playing like PUBG or something.
It was just.
He said, "Hey man, you want to play?" He said, "I play tomorrow." He goes, "Who are you playing?" He said, "The Hawks." He goes, "You got plenty of time."
And sure enough, he backed it up the next night.
You like my Kristaps Porzingis impression?
Yeah, working that hair,
My hair's been weird tonight on this camera, so I'm just messing with it.
Yeah, my way just ain't the hell with it. But
about to just shave it all off. I'm gonna put up a Twitter poll. Who wants me to shave my head bald for the rest of my life?
But to wrap up my group, number 16, I'll say is Jimmy Butler. Like his role, you see kind of a little bit of a trend.
For a second, I didn't see him on my list, and I said, I didn't forget Jimmy Butler, did I? No.
Like for Butler being the best defensive perimeter player for the Timberwolves, and being one of the key cogs when it comes to just that overall chemistry of the team. Like he is the leader for the Timberwolves. Yeah. Like they'll go
He's
as
the
far as Jimmy
maker.
go.
Yeah.
Like without Jimmy, they're too young of a team to be able to, do anything.
In the future,
they wouldn't have gotten the playoffs without him.
In the future, Karl Anthony Towns is your first best player, and Andrew Wiggins as your second best is going to be a great duo. But right now, they're nothing without Jimmy Butler. He is what makes that team go. He's the veteran. It's almost like a Kyrie in Boston. You got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, which they're a little younger, not as high caliber, but still, you add a
varying degrees.
You add someone. Kyrie's coming into his prime, so by the time that Kyrie is as old as Jimmy Butler is now, like give it a couple seasons, like that, like they're here. They're here. So, I mean, it's kind of a similar situation. You put a veteran that knows how to win in a situation with the young guys with great potential, and you got a winning formula. So, Jimmy Butler's integral.
All right. Now, your 11 through 15.
All right. So, this is – I've got 9 through 15 as tier 3, which is this player can be the best player on a contender. Not a championship favorite, but the best player on a really good team is kind of the criteria. Not necessarily that they are or whatever, but loosely. But that's 9 through 15, but I'm going to go 11 through 15. I'll count it down backwards like you did. Number 15, I've got Joel Embiid. I've got him a few spots higher than you. Again, that's kind of like with the Porzingis. I think I've bought into their potential more than
it's hard to deny it, folks.
Yeah, more than they've proven. I've kind of given them more credit for hey, if you look at this list, almost like going into next year type list instead of right now, it's like a starting next year, starting fresh slate kind of thing, right. I guess. 15, Joel Embiid. 14, Kyrie Irving. I've got him outside of the top 10. I don't think he's a top 10 player yet. I think he's definitely going to be a great point guard for years to come. He's the point guard of my team. I don't have any hate for Kyrie. A lot of people, I think, overhype him because he made one shot in the finals. And, No, he dropped 41 points in Game 6, and he hit the big shot over Steph in Game 7. You can't take that away from him. But that shot alone does not put him in the top 10. And he's got great handles, probably the greatest handles ever. And that doesn't put him in the top 10 yet. It just doesn't. He's got a lot to prove still, and he's a great player. Number 13, really 12 and 13. I've always as long as they've been in the league, they've been like a coin flip to me. Paul George at 13, Jimmy Butler at 12. I've always considered them to be who's better. I don't know. I think if Paul George doesn't go to the Thunder, I put Paul George ahead of him. I think Paul George is probably the better player, but I've got Jimmy Butler ahead of him because of kind of the role that he plays.
Right.
Whereas Paul George is the supporting player, like we said. Jimmy Butler is the leader.
Right.
And they're both definitely fringe top 10 players. This next pick is my number 11 is going back to the potential over necessarily right now. One spot ahead of Jimmy Butler is his teammate, Karl Anthony Towns. I've got him at 11 because Jimmy Butler is already kind of at his ceiling, I guess, whereas Karl Anthony Towns, he's not in the conversation. People say, oh, who's after LeBron? Who's going to reign as the best player in the league? Kevin Durant, we kind of missed his window. Kawhi, if he's healthy, sure. Anthony Davis, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
There's so many young, great players, but we forget about Karl Anthony Towns.
He's what, 22, 23?
Yeah,
he's already
quietly just being great.
Yeah,
but,
so he's got the potential to take up. He's not as physically daunting as some of those other guys, but he's just as talented. Him at Kentucky. Anthony Davis was probably the greatest college player I ever watched, but Karl Anthony Towns was impossible to guard at Kentucky, and he's obviously getting better in the pros because but I'm just saying, you look at him and Anthony Davis in college, and it's not that big of a difference. So, and he's got that kind of he's coming for Anthony Davis in the pros too. As far as being a dominant big man, you got Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, DeMarcus Cousins, Karl Anthony Towns. Those are like your 4 big guys that are taking over. That's the new generation. So yeah, that's my 11 through 15. Who you got?
All right. Well, I see with your list, you were definitely projecting, the youth.
I definitely see
them
how
having their movement, their shine.
I didn't intentionally do that, but I see. I made this list 10 minutes. I typed it up and I said, okay, this is what I'm going with.
All right.
And now I see that. Yeah, I put youth into it. I put a lot of investment into it. A lot of future.
Well, when it comes to my list, number 15, point guard for the Washington Wizards, Mr. John Wall.
I had him at 16. That's a healthy.
Only one difference up.
Yeah.
You know, John Wall, you know, we all saw, you know, the role that he had for the Wizards, you know, being able to push the tempo and a compliment that he has for Bradley Beal. It's special, but it still has some kind of friction going on. And then
It's always had that weird
vibe.
Like it should work better than it does.
It should be way better.
Yeah.
It should be way better. And because of that, I feel like that kind of take away from Wall a little bit. That and then his inconsistent three-point shot. Like if his shot would be a bit better,
he hit that
he
one
could
against the
potentially
Celtics in
be
the
top
playoffs.
10 and even higher. And for the Wizards, they will go as far as John Wall will go.
We got the last laugh last year, but he did hit that game winner in that game.
He was clutch. I mean, can't take that away. But yeah, John Wall, number 15. Number 14, DeMar DeRozan for the Raptors.
Fair enough.
I
got him
mean,
at 17. 14, 17 to me is no difference.
I mean, I ain't gonna touch on
Virtually.
him much more than what I already, explained.
Hugely underrated.
With the, him being one of the
Huge impact.
Included on the All NBA team. So, with DeRozan, like I said earlier, he's been a key factor for the Raptors, and for this postseason run that they're in, since they're the number one team in the East, they will go as far as DeRozan will go.
Definitely.
And number 13, DeMarcus Cousins.
Boogie Cousins, baby.
He is a bad boy, man. I mean, his versatility inside-outside game is rare, like to the elite level. Like, I mean,
He's the best
25
center
and
since
12.
Shaq.
As a center, pretty close. And
He's
in
not-
this
he-
generation,
he's
not
not-
saying
yeah,
like
he's
the
not
absolute
Shaq.
dominance of Shaq. No, not dominance, but if compare and contrast and how you're going to have to try to deal with him night in, night out.
He was in a
You
nightmare.
have some issues with DeMarcus Cousins.
He was in a nightmare situation in Sacramento. He went to a bad situation in New Orleans, and they would have, like I said before, they could have ran through the playoffs, man, potentially.
And hey,
Golden
it's a difference
State,
when you have
Houston
to,
aren't built to beat
Anthony
teams.
Davis. When you have him on the
That's
team,
what I'm
it makes a
saying.
difference.
That's what I'm saying, man. You put DeMarcus Cousins on a great team. You put him in his attitude in Boston probably wouldn't work because they don't do the whole I don't know.
You still never know, though.
I know, but yeah, you put him in a better situation than Sacramento or New Orleans. Put him in Philadelphia instead of Joel Embiid. Put him in not L.A. I don't think L.A. would work, but Miami Heat, and somewhere.
Yeah, him switch for Hassan Whiteside. Now that team, woo!
Put him on Golden State, 82-0, when healthy, if they wanted to. Who's gonna stop him? Who gonna stop?
We're not gonna discuss
That's
that
an all-star
today.
team.
We're not gonna discuss that
That's
today.
the West All-Stars.
Let's not discuss that. It's like a Western all-star team, but if the West it still exists, if that format still exists,
yeah.
But number 12, Damian Lillard. Lillard, like I touched on with the predictions that I have for Portland, for how I feel that they're going to do. Lillard is definitely, has taken over and has followed through. Dame time. Like, he is clutch. Like, he has a history of being one of the most clutch players in the league, year in and year out. Like, he came in, fresh as a rookie, doing big things. I can't remember if it was his rookie year or his sophomore year when he single-handedly ended the series against the Houston Rockets.
He actually had the...
he hit a dagger on Chandler Parsons.
Donovan Mitchell broke the record for most threes by a rookie. It wasn't Steph's record. It was Dame's record. Steph was in second place.
Mm-hmm.
Dame was in first. Now it's Donovan Mitchell, Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then number 11. Of course, people are going to be thinking, is he a top 10 player? Is he not? Number 11, I have Chris Paul.
I can respect that. Look at everything he's done in his career. Look at how great he's still playing. People talk about LeBron.
He's still legit.
LeBron year 15. Chris Paul's what year? 13, 12?
Yeah, not that far behind from LeBron.
They're in the same... they're not...
Chris Paul's going down to a Hall of Famer as one of the greatest point guards of all time. So,
it'd be hard.
He still is legit.
He's one of the greatest pure point guards ever. And he's still playing just as well. He's probably playing better this year than he has in quite a few
because
years.
he felt more free. He's not feeling like he had to do as much since he got James Harden, taking the load off of him.
So, I mean, you could put Chris Paul in your top 10 for the last 10 years. And the only other guy you can say that about probably is LeBron James. I mean, he's that kind of consistent. It's not the consistent best player in the world, but he's a consistent, great role player, elite point guard. He's a top 5 point guard every single year that he's been.
Every year
He's
from
been
day
in the league.
one.
I would argue he's
from
a top
his
5 point
days
guard.
in New Orleans with what used to be the Hornets and now they're the Pelicans.
I mean, it goes back to like the MVP, best player versus blah, blah, blah. He might not be the all NBA pick for me for every year or whatever. Like this year, he wasn't on my all NBA list, but that doesn't mean that he's not a top 5 point guard still. Like if I'm picking a team, not necessarily for the future, because the future I'm going, somebody like Lonzo or Markelle Fultz or somebody like that. But
right.
If I'm saying I'm playing one season right now, like Chris Paul I'd probably take Chris Paul before. I mean, what? I'm taking Steph, Russell Westbrook, and Mike Dame before Chris Paul for one season. I mean, it's all
on preference, folks. It's all on preference.
That's what I mean.
There's so many great point guards in the league today.
He's
a ton of great point guards.
He's easily in that conversation every year. So I mean, Chris Paul in your top 11? You have him?
Yeah, top 11.
That's great. I love it. I have him lower, but I love it.
All right, now your 6 through 10. I want to hear this because this is when the debate gets real.
Yep. Here we go. So I'm going to start with the end of my tier 3 because I think that 1 through 8 is like here, and the next couple. It's a big gap to me. Number 10, I've got, which really 9 and 10 are interchangeable. Number 10, I got him here because of injuries. DeMarcus Cousins. We already talked about how great he is. You had him at what?
I had DeMarcus Cousins at 13.
13. So I got him at 10. That's pretty close. Number 9, I have Damian Lillard. I think you could trade either of those. I think if Boogie plays the full season, I'd probably put him ahead but injuries, that just makes me think, I don't know. I don't know.
He does play the role.
Because you could have done this, you might have done this, I don't know. So the not knowing factor versus I do know what Dame has done to this.
It's kind of like what I did with Gordon Hayward earlier. He only played he only played no more than a couple minutes for the whole season. But everybody who understands the game of basketball,
he was a borderline top 15 player.
No, in their mind, Hayward was going to be a top 25 player in the league because they're going to feature him.
Oh yeah,
Brad Stevens coached him in college at Butler.
He was going
to feature that man.
Oh yeah, he was going to be a borderline top 15 player if he plays this year. So I mean, anyway,
number.
So I'm going to go 5 through 8 now, and this is my tier 2. I have 4 through 8. I have 1, 2, 3 is one tier. That's tier 1. Tier 2 is 4 through 8, and I have the best player on a serious contender, MVP conversation year in and year out. That's my tier 2. Is best player on a team that has a real shot to win it. You're in the MVP conversation because you're phenomenal. You could have a down year and be in the MVP conversation. Mm-hmm. Is kind of my standard for tier 2. Number 8, I have Giannis Antetokounmpo. Because of these players, he's the least proven to me. Probably has the highest ceiling of my whole top 8 or top 4 through 8. But he hasn't done a lot yet. He's been to the playoffs like once. He won one playoff series. He's still going to potentially be the best player in the league in 3 years. Mm-hmm. If I'm building a team today, it's him, Anthony Davis, Ben Simmons are the 3 players that I'm looking at for the number 1 overall pick. Mm-hmm. I'm building a team for the years to come.
Right.
Number 7, I have Russell Westbrook. It's going to be a little low for a lot of people. But when you hear my next people, you'll probably understand. Russell Westbrook, MVP, average or triple-double back-to-back seasons. I mean, he's elite. There's nothing. And really, I think 8 with Giannis, that's the one that I'm most confident about. And really, 4 through 7 is just a preference. And you could really make any argument for any of them either way. Number 6, I have Kawhi Leonard. I think Kawhi Leonard plays this year. he might be in my tier 1, honestly. Him not playing this year, he fell to 6. I had him at 4 coming into the year, with the potential to move up as far as 3. Probably not 2. My top 2 is pretty
set in stone.
Yeah, but I've got Kawhi over Russ. Kawhi has a ring and a Finals MVP, and that's why I'm saying if he's healthy, he's at least number 4. But I dropped him down, so it kind of hurt Russ a little bit. Yeah, I mean it's a I don't know. I put Kawhi there, and I couldn't put Russ above Kawhi. But if I put Kawhi a couple higher, I might could have switched another few around. But anyway, number 5, I have Anthony Davis. I just think that Anthony Davis is having a better season than Russell Westbrook.
Number 5.
Anthony Davis, number 5. I think he's having a better season than Russell Westbrook. Russ, if you don't count Kawhi, then the 5-6 to me has always been Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook. It's always been right there. And really, the number 4, I don't even necessarily think that he's number 4. I honestly think I could put Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, and Kawhi Leonard ahead of him. But I got to give the man props. The 2018 MVP, James Harden, is my number 4. Was I supposed to go to number 4? I was supposed to go to number 5.
Yeah, we might as well go ahead and run it down. Go ahead
and
go through number 1.
I'll let you go.
You trying to hold off? Or?
I'll hold off on my top 3.
Okay, all right.
So James Harden, Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think those 5 players are interchangeable. Depends on what you like. Depends on what you prefer. But I think those are the 4 through 8 to me, and that's tier 2, best player on a serious contender in the MVP conversation. They will be for year in, year out, because they're going to be the best player on a great team. Can carry their team to potentially a title if Golden State or LeBron James isn't in the way.
Well, my list, I'm gonna go. If you went 10 to 4, I'll do the same.
All right.
Now,
I kind of messed that one up, but
it's all good. It's all good. Hey,
we'll let it happen.
Hey, we gonna make this. This show is gonna be one of the best out there. So, hey, we're gonna do what we do. So, number 10, I'll say Paul George. Paul George is like an upgraded version of Jimmy Butler. He does the exact same thing as Jimmy Butler, but even better. Like,
he is a better. I mean, he actually, probably better scorer, better defender. That's kind of everything.
Year in, year out, Paul George can be considered one of the best defensive players in the league, and could be
defensive player of the year this year.
He's one of them rare people. It's only been done like one time in NBA history that you could have an MVP and defensive player of the year, and that was Jordan back in the late 80s.
Yeah.
Paul George had that capability of doing exactly that.
Especially if he doesn't go to OKC. If he's the man.
If he goes to another team, and he's just the feature, Paul George had that ability.
He really does. He's as the second option, he averaged like 23-6 or.
Solid numbers.
Yeah, he's elite. If he hadn't broke his leg, he could have been a year ahead of where he is now. Think of that. Younger, more experienced.
All right. Number 9, Kyrie Irving.
I'll take it.
I feel like Kyrie, he definitely, put himself on another level by getting out of LeBron's shadow in Cleveland.
I definitely agree. It just sucks that we didn't get to realize his potential this year because he's been hurt. The whole team's been hurt. So we haven't really seen what Kyrie can do on his own, especially with a Gordon Hayward.
But even with that said, with him to be considered one of the top 10 players in the league, even while not even being 100% healthy this year, folks, that he had screws in his knee, and with having to deal with a hampered knee injury, he still was able to lead Boston to where they gotten now, to being a top 2 seed in the East. Watch out, folks. The future is bright for him and for Boston.
How many games are we in this year? 54? Is that right? Kyrie missed 22 games, but
still
55.
Without
55
him,
and
you wouldn't have won 50. You wouldn't even got to 50. If you would have been on the team, period.
No, I think we were. Don't quote me on this. I want to say we were like 15-5 without Kyrie in his 20. Wait, did I say 22 games? Something like that. 15-5 is like a bait. It could have been 16. Whatever.
It could have done a lot of things.
We won about 3 times more than we lost without Kyrie, but that's not a good. It's a small sample size. A lot of it wasn't against great competition.
But even with that being said, it doesn't take away from the greatness of Kyrie Irving. It does not take away.
We're a borderline. I mean, we probably missed the playoffs without. We definitely missed the playoffs without Kyrie. Probably looking at a 30-win team. I mean, honestly.
I'll say playoff team. It would have been playoff team, but it would have been more towards like a 7, 8 area.
I mean, 30, that was a low, but 40, we're a 40-win team.
No, I'll say 45.
40, 42, we're in that conversation without Kyrie. But Kyrie, he brought the leadership to those young guys. Is kind of what I'm looking at. It's like if Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are your 2 best players for a whole year without a Kyrie. I mean, you got Al Horford, but without Kyrie at the beginning, kind of saying, all right, yeah, we can do this. Let's go. Because they started on, what, a 17-game win streak or something? 16,
yeah, they lost their first 2 games, and then they won 16 straight.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you don't, like, that was Kyrie, and if you don't do that, then how well does the season play out?
No one.
If we don't have Kyrie, say we start, instead of 16-2, we could start 8-10. And then your whole...
That was really more the expectation that folks had.
Then your whole season was on
That was really the
its head.
expectation I had. I didn't think we were going to win 16 straight.
I didn't think we would win 16
well, Al
straight.
Horford being your second best player in the team after Kyrie.
Now, when Gordon Hayward went down, I said, okay, we're not going to win the finals, but I said we're still the second best team in the East.
Hey, it turned out right.
Yeah. Just not to Cleveland. It was to Toronto.
Yeah.
Maybe Philadelphia.
Who would have known that? But if I digress, number 8, we actually agreed. Okay. I picked the Greek Freak. Because,
at the end, that's good for it.
At the end of the day, the Greek Freak still has a lot of potential.
Huge potential.
For him to be where he at now, I mean,
he could be number 1 in 2 years.
Easy.
He's that good.
All he needs is a jump shot, folks. All he needs is a consistent jump shot. But
if he's got a good jump shot, he's going to be a better version of LeBron. He's not going to be better than LeBron legacy-wise, but he's like
I think the only person that could touch him would be Ben Simmons. I think that's the only person that could touch.
He'll be a bigger LeBron James. Like, that's
but I'll take Ben Simmons over Greek Freak because of his passing ability.
You're right.
So he basically can do the same thing as a Greek Freak, but he can pass.
If you're thinking the LeBron take over, drive to the basket, dunk, or jump shot. But yeah, if you take the passing, I mean, obviously Ben Simmons, because Giannis, I mean, he could develop that, but LeBron's
Ben Simmons
vision,
already got that from day 1.
Yeah, LeBron's vision is elite, and Ben Simmons will
right behind him.
Yeah,
already.
Yeah, I mean, him and Lonzo, I know we, talk about the big baller a lot, but now they've already got great vision and basketball IQ already.
Just inherited it.
Anyway,
but number 7. Kawhi Leonard.
I put him at 6.
You said 6, I say 7 because I mean the injury factor did take away from Kawhi. Like you said, you had him at number 4. I would personally would have had him at number 4 as well if it wasn't for injury. But because of
it's hard to tell where to really drop him to. Because he didn't do anything this year, so you can't really.
Right, it's nothing against him. It's just based on what's going on currently. You have to adjust. So I mean,
but you can't leave him You can't leave him out of your top 7 or.
Right. It's only so far you can go. But
I mean, he's better than your 9 through 15 guys. Like obviously.
Oh yeah, but Kawhi Leonard number 7. Number 6, Steph Curry. Yeah, and Steph Curry is my favorite player in the league, folks. Steph Curry is my best player in the league.
Nobody's listening anymore. They all try to show off.
He is number 6 because of the fact of injury did play a role in the season. And, I mean, he is still a key cog for Golden State. Golden State will only go as far as Curry goes. Without Curry, Golden State ain't nothing.
Obviously, he's in the top 3.
You have Kevin Durant. Yes, you have Draymond Green. Yes, you have Klay Thompson. Yes, you have Andre Iguodala. Yes, you have Shawn Livingston and Nick Young and so on and so on. But, I mean, without Curry, Golden State won't win. And, yes, that's even having, Kevin Durant.
No, they don't have a chance with that, Steph.
But,
they will not. They won't make the finals without a healthy Steph.
Right. But
Houston will beat them if it's Harden, versus Durant, your two best players.
Right. But at the end of the day, you know, for me, just based on current performance and comparing to other players,
I can get that.
I'll say Curry at number 6. Now, number 5, the person that I would take over Curry as, I say, because of them playing the point guard position, you know, Curry is more of a, you know, of a traditional point guard. Yes, he scores. I understand that. But for Golden State,
he's a pick and roll, spread the floor, drive to the basket.
Yes. So,
you know,
in this situation, I would say for number 5, I can't deny the fact of how great Russell Westbrook is. I mean, he averaged a triple-double for back-to-back seasons.
You're right. I mean, I can't argue with that just because I had a different list.
The aggression that Westbrook has is unheard of. Like,
of course.
The only person that has that type of aggression, really, in the history of the NBA, the only people I'll say is Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. As in the aggressive killer mentality.
I've always kind of thought of Russell as the if the, you know, it was Jordan and then Kobe was, you know, Jordan part 2. I feel like
part 3.
I feel like Westbrook is like a spin-off. You know, he's not necessarily part 3 because he's kind of his own animal. He's not exactly like them, but he's kind of.
But
he's from that same family tree. He's the cousin.
Right.
Yeah.
But
he's. I mean, I would say like it'd be like Coke, Pepsi, and he's like what, RC Cola. But not really. He'd be like Dr. Pepper.
I'm not going to say RC Cola. That's kind of disrespectful.
No, I know. I said I was just trying to think of the next thing. No, so instead of being RC Cola,
I say
he's like a Dr. Pepper.
Like Michael Jordan is like a Coke, and then Michael Jordan is like Coke, then Pepsi is Kobe, and Dr. Pepper would be Westbrook.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Dr. Pepper's better than RC Cola. I mean,
duh. I'm saying instead of being RC Cola would be the third incarnation. Instead of being the same dude the third time around, be something that's good, but it's like a little different. It's got a little twang to it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Pepper's a cola, or is it a root beer? Nobody knows. It's got the little.
I can imagine folks don't want to hear the discussion when it comes to soft drinks as in preferences. So I think we're going to go ahead and get on down this list because we want to get to the nitty gritty to the top 4.
You're right.
When it comes
get your 4, and then I'll do my top 3. You do yours.
Yeah. When it comes to number 4,
Anthony
number 4
Davis.
is James Harden.
So we got the same number 4.
Yeah. So I mean,
I gave you your number 3 early.
I mean, Harden is going to be
MVP.
the 2018 MVP, folks.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, get that in your heads. I understand folks who are supporters of LeBron.
I'm a LeBron fan, and it's not close. It's James Harden.
For this year,
Give the man props.
Harden deserves to be MVP.
I don't even like
Harden
him.
could have been MVP for any of the previous 3
Flopping.
seasons. Probably take away the MVP ununanimous season that Steph Curry had. He could have been the MVP in any one of those other seasons, potentially.
Without a doubt.
So,
it's his turn. It's his turn.
It's time.
That's how it works, man. LeBron got his 4 already. They don't want to just give it to LeBron every year. Why would you?
Right.
I mean, other people deserve it too. James Harden has a great story this year. He's obviously.
I mean, for Houston to be 60-plus games, having a better record than Golden State, who would imagine Houston would have a better record than Golden State? And now they're going to have home court throughout the whole playoffs, throughout the West, and through the NBA Finals if they're fortunate enough to get there. It's going to be special to watch them. So, like I said, James Harden is my 4th best player in the league. Do you want me to go ahead and just run through my 3 through 1, or you want to go ahead and get yours in?
I mean, if you want to do yours, just keep going.
All right. Well, to continue on this list, number 3, I have Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is coming. Since the All-Star break, he averaged 30
50
points.
and 30 or something.
50 and 30. He averaged 30 points and 11 rebounds
and
since
like
the All-Star
3 or 4
break
blocks.
after DeMarcus Cousins been out. Like, for him to take the team from where they were without DeMarcus Cousins and to get them further up in the standings in the playoffs.
He got some serious MVP consideration just for that stretch alone. It was already, to me, it was already decided that it was Harden. I mean, it's been Harden for a long time.
Well, Anthony Davis
he made it interesting.
A couple bucks.
Oh yeah, he made it interesting for a while, and then people said, "Oh, maybe it should be LeBron." And it's like, man, I don't know. I might vote for Anthony Davis over LeBron. Just.
And then, of course, I'm gonna wrap this up a little quick
2 and 1 is
we
easy.
already know what
It's
2 and
easy.
1 is. Number 2 is the Slim Reaper, KD, Kevin Durant. Because Kevin Durant is the most efficient scorer of this generation. He's 7 foot tall, can shoot from 30, 35 feet at will. Got point guard
skills. He's a human
skills.
cheat code on 2K. You ever play him on blacktop in 2K? He don't miss. He won't miss. Can't.
He's a problem, folks.
You could have 4 guys, hands in his face.
He's still gonna
toes on the out of bounds line and toes on the. That doesn't make sense.
He single-handedly killed LeBron in the finals. I'm sorry to if I'm gonna burst people's bubbles, but he shot.
LeBron just averaged a triple-double in the finals. That's all. Yeah, KD shut him down. So did Kawhi when he averaged 28 on Kawhi.
No, I'm not. No. I ain't talking about with like defense. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about LeBron trying to stop Kevin Durant. That's who I'm talking about.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. You can't stop.
I ain't talking about
You can't stop either of them.
No.
Unstoppable force, immovable object type thing. You won't stop. If they play each other, they're going to average 30 each.
Kevin Durant could do what he wants. LeBron was hesitant to come at KD.
Because you can't. What are you going to do?
Wasn't it a game? I think it was like game 4.
That's the one that the Cavs won.
It was game 3. It was game 3. Yeah, when pretty much LeBron was hesitating.
He slipped, man.
He couldn't come to the 3-point. He really thought that KD was going to drive past him. In my mind, I knew KD loved to pull up.
It's because KD's the ultimate.
He set LeBron up so good, and he just shot that thing.
No one in the history of the league. He made that shot on
LeBron to close out the game and basically the series.
No one in the history of the league can shoot the 3 like Durant and drive like Durant. He's the ultimate.
He's gonna go down as in he's gonna score ultimately over 35 points, and I think he could have a chance of getting the all-time record over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
He might be able to play. We talk about LeBron season 15 or whatever. Durant's coming for that, boy.
He coming.
You think Durant won't be able to score at 40 years old? Look at Ray Allen.
And he's 6'10", 7. He truly is 7 foot tall.
Kevin Durant,
but they just make the numbers up to make it seem like he's like 6'9".
Would it be crazy to say Kevin Durant's a better 3-point shooter as far as his abilities and stuff than guys like Ray Allen? Maybe not a 3-point shooter purely, but his scoring ability is unmatched.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's unmatched.
He could be 40 and not be able to run up and down the floor.
And
he's going to be able
to
shoot
25.
And he'll be able to shoot from anywhere.
He can still average 25.
He's the only guy that, if he's on the 3-point line and you press him, he's going to run right past you. But you give him 2 inches.
And the ability.
If you're right up on him, he's getting right past you.
He's going to do whatever you got to do to score. It don't matter.
If you're on him like this, he's draining a 3 in your face all day. Mm-hmm. No one in the league has ever been able to do it the way that he does.
Right. And then, of course, number 1, the king himself.
Gotta be.
LeBron James.
Not a debate. We don't even need an explanation.
Really, all I'm going to say is LeBron is the face of the generation. Whether folks want to admit that or not, he's going to go down as one of the greatest players in NBA history.
He's going to go down number 2. He'll never pass Jordan.
It
doesn't matter what he does.
The impact that LeBron has, not necessarily just on the court, but off the court for civil rights issues social issues.
He's the biggest face of the NBA since Jordan. And will be for a long
time. He's going to be around for a while.
We're not going to see another LeBron.
Not to that degree.
There will be another great player in the league.
Right, but the ability to translate what he does on the court to off the court, we ain't going to see that maybe for several years to come.
Jordan and LeBron are going to go down as the 2 most iconic. Whether you're
on one side or the other,
they're going to go down as the 2 most iconic faces of the NBA ever. It's going to be anytime someone said, if I say Major League Baseball, you think Babe Ruth, first thing. If you say football, football's a little more.
Bo Jackson. It's
a little more.
Bo Jackson, Jim Brown, Jerry Rice. It just depends.
Joe Montana, Tom Brady, if you're going the quarterback route.
Aaron Rodgers.
Football's a little more iffy. They've never really had a face like the NBA does. Because you wear a helmet on.
Right. It's more about the teams than individuals.
Yeah, you don't see them really, but you see LeBron all the time. And he's one of the. I mean, you got LeBron, Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan,
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali. Trying to think.
Even there, you know, if I even bring up NASCAR, which I admit,
Dale
as
Earnhardt.
an African American, I'm a NASCAR fan.
You got
Jimmy Johnson, Dale Earnhardt Sr.
What was I gonna say? Roger
Petty,
Federer, Serena Williams.
Oh yeah, Serena, without a doubt.
Yeah,
Serena is like the greatest women's athlete of all time.
Oh yeah.
So.
Michael Phelps, you know, you got
Olympian.
Like
I mean,
yeah, you got dudes like that, and
Olympians.
that's the level that LeBron's on.
Like,
he could
top tier.
LeBron could go 0-82 for the rest of his NBA career and score 2 points, and he's still going to go down as one of the most iconic athletes of all time in our generation.
Happen, but you know, we just pointing it out.
So anyway, I'll run through mine real quick to wrap this up because we're still running a little long like we have on every segment. But who cares? It's our show.
Yeah, the first time.
We don't work for anybody. We can run over a time limit.
Hey, but we appreciate your patience for watching with us.
Definitely. If you're still here, you're awesome because this is. Oh, I guess we need to do a sign off because this is our last segment. So.
What about the West?
Oh, we're gonna do that after, but we're putting it before.
Yeah. Whoop whoop.
It's late.
Hey, surprise!
It's almost it's almost 2 a.m. So we're getting a little tired.
Trying to memorize everything. But
anyway.
you know, of course, next time it's gonna be a little bit earlier, so our minds be more refreshed and more clear. So bear with us.
It's been a hectic day.
Like I said, we appreciate y'all for watching. So,
all right.
So top three.
My top three. I guess I'm still kind of stuck. I punished other guys for injuries and stuff, and I didn't punish this guy because in my head, there's always been these top three, and it's number 3, Steph Curry, number 2, Kevin Durant, number 1, LeBron James. I keep Steph Curry in my top 3 just because my tier 1 is already all-time greats. They're the corner piece of. Sorry, that cat is meowing, and I can hear it on the mic. That distracted me so hard.
We got the little hiccup going
I was like, "What is that?" And it was a cat. Anyway, it is late.
Behind the scenes, folks.
So the corner piece of a championship team that is proven, and if you put this player on a team, you will win a championship. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, you know, multiple. I guess Kevin Durant only has 1 MVP, but you got 4 MVPs for LeBron, 2 for Steph, 1 for Durant. You know, they're already all-time greats.
And see, it's like based on your criteria of just you know all-time great players.
They retired. If Steph Curry retires today, he's the greatest shooter of all time.
Oh yeah.
If Kevin Durant retires today,
he's that now. But he's gonna have the numbers behind him here in the next couple of years.
Oh yeah,
like,
he's gonna break every record by 1,000
ranks, and he's gonna destroy Ray Allen's and Reggie Miller's records.
The record's like 2,200. Steph's gonna have 3,000.
And then Klay Thompson won't be too far behind him.
He'll be top 3.
He'll be. I think Klay Thompson will break the record too. But Steph will be on just another level.
Steph's going to hit
because of how great of a
3,000.
shooter he is.
Whatever the record is, Steph's going to be about 500.
You have 2 players who play concurrently on the same team,
possibly
being the 2 greatest 3-point shooters of all time. Who would have thought that coming?
But yeah, so Steph retires today, greatest shooter ever. Durant retires today. He probably is the greatest scorer
of all time.
LeBron James retires today. He's the 2nd greatest NBA player of all time. If he doesn't score another point the rest of his career, he's already number 2.
And it's hard for me to say that, but he's right. Chase is right.
So that's why they just stand out to me because James Harden, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard, they retire today. It's like their story's not done yet. And I mean the other 3 aren't either, but they don't have anything else to prove to me.
I agree.
I'd have to have a top 20 all time to see where they fall. All 3 of them are top 25.
Oh yeah, easy top 25.
Steph is he's going to end up top 20, borderline top 15, and Durant, I don't think he gets into the top 10
because the top 10 is so hard. There's so many great players.
LeBron and Kobe, and Kobe's close. Kobe's
like
an 8.
Top 5.
Kobe to me is like an 8-ish. Yeah. But if Kobe can barely break into the top 10 for me, then I don't see Durant doing it. But Durant's going to be in the if
it's nothing against him.
No,
it's just because
in
the caliber
years,
of players that you have is the greatest of the greatest.
In 30 years, when you break out, when someone says, "Hey, what are your top 20 or what are your top 10 NBA players?" Then you're going to say, "Man, is Kevin Durant?" It's like, nah, he's not. He's pretty close right now. Oscar Robertson. It's like, oh, he's probably close. Maybe he is.
He's
For
forgotten,
some people,
folks. Oscar Robertson is forgotten, and he's the previous person who had a triple double prior to Westbrook.
It's like
and that was 50 years ago.
It's like, where do you put Karl Malone? Like, is he top 10? No, but is he in the conversation?
Oh, he's like top 20 for sure.
Exactly. That's where Durant is going to be a player like that, even if he doesn't do anything else the rest of his career. Skill-wise alone, what he's already done. One championship, one MVP, and he's already in that conversation.
Yeah, but believe me, he will win more.
Oh, without a doubt. Anyway, guys.
We appreciate y'all.
I'm going to take these off now. I wasn't going to acknowledge them, but...
Yeah, we thank y'all very much for watching this first podcast. You know, we're working out all the kinks, but, I mean,
hope you
at
had
the
fun.
end of the day, you know, we're working through this, and, you know, this is going to be the first of hopefully many to come.
So, we'll see you next time. This has been Under Review. By the way, if you made it this long, we'll tell you why we call it Under Review. Because as long as this show is, you could watch the whole damn thing, and the refs still wouldn't be done reviewing the call. We'll see you next time. We appreciate you. Thanks. Bye.
Arrivederci.
Whatever. What's it? I'm drawing a blank. I was gonna say, what is it? That. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to edit this out. See y'all.
Half of one half is left unanswered.